pack this in any time I want, you know. The old man enjoyed his pint. God bless the old bugger. Times like these, it seems it were only yesterday. Me, tender age of 7, flailing round the miners' welfare with a bag of crisps and fizzy orange in hand, screeching big time as the oldest took to the floor, flopping and jigging like a pod of manatees on speed. Me man, knitting like fury in preparation for the next addition to our brood, whilst simultaneously maintaining an intermittent and incoherent cackle with me gran, who, on account of the fact she never mastered the electronic wizardry of her state-of-the-art hearing aid, nodded enthusiastically from time to time at moments she judged to be appropriate. It were very confusing nattering to our nan. I had a total fascination with the top dentures which, due to poor fitment as they'd previously inhabited me Auntie Betty's mouth, produced a strange yet fascinating sight as they bobbled up and down in a way that was far funnier than any speciality act that ever graced the stage of the Todmorden Miners' Welfare Club. Me dad was in his element. It was spiritual own. He knew everybody, and everybody knew him. Big Al, that's what they called him, and it suited. A roguish bundle of joy with a high-pitched and squeaky laugh that could resonate through the densest of cerebral functioning. And believe me, dense cerebral functioning was never in short supply down the welfare. I can still hear that sabre-sharp laugh slashing through the undulating babble and squawk of the evening club room. Ever a pint on his lips and a couple of 3 more lined up. 11:30. Me dad, happy as a pig in muck, swelled and blossomed as the cry rose up from the floor. "Tell us a couple, Big Al, come on, get this in up there." And with his customary polished and feigned reluctance, he'd step up and rattle off a couple of howlers, milking the adulation as he left the stage and swaggered back to our table. A longer row of bevies awaiting. You're a natural comic, me dad. Only when you were pissed, you understand. Me mum were always honoured him to cut down on the drink, but he steadfastly maintained, as had his dad before him, that it was the highway to a long, happy and contented life. He passed on when he was 39. He was at repose post a generous Sunday lunch. He didn't say nothing, he just expired. Nobody knew for a couple of hours till my mum took him his afternoon cuppa. She lifted his cap, as was her usual way of raising him from an alcohol-induced slumber, let out a screech and dropped the teal down his corduroy waistcoat. And that were it. No more wailing or histrionics. She just gathered us up and packed us off to my gran's, where we stayed till after the funeral. The undertaker said it had taken 9 separate formaldehyde washes before the last lingering fragrance of Theakston's bitter was banished from the corpse. Down the club they had a debate as to whether to bury him or bottle him. My grandparents moved from County Durham down here to Brum. They were working the pits, you see. My granddad was 40 years at the coalface. He could spit pellets of black flame with such accuracy that I learnt at a very tender age not to irritate him. My dad followed the family tradition and went down the pit at the first opportunity. We never felt disadvantaged. We always had sparingly used best butter, birthday and Christmas presents, new shoes before every school autumn term, and every second winter, a hand-me-down Macintosh that always drowned me. on Sundays, tinned peaches and evaporated milk. Oh. My mum were desperate that none of us brothers, that's me, Billy, Freddie and Arthur, our roads were never a candidate obviously, should follow our forefathers down the pit. Crouching on the stairs, I often heard them arguing about it when I was a kid. Oh, they went at it ding dong. Whenever my dad lost the plot, he just got louder and more belligerent, but it's always my mum who had her own way. That's my mum for you. A few months after he passed on, we moved down the street to a posh new semi. My Uncle Ted's house, and I often muse about how easily we were assimilated into the new household circumstances. But when I was 13, I remember pondering, this is a 3-bedroomed house. There's me, Billy, Freddie and Arthur in one, our Rose in another, and me mum in the third. So where did me Uncle Ted kip? Of course, after a respectable period of time, they married. Teddy always allowed us to address him in this manner, was the exact opposite to me dad. He was quiet, thoughtful, sober and considered. He had no need to shout. One glance from those soft brown eyes was enough to silence any gathering argument. Now, my dad's eyes were bright blue, and my mum's were green. Mine. Well, what do you think? I'm told they're bordering on hazel. Well, life reformed as it has a habit of doing, but one thing changed forever. Never again were Friday nights spent down the miners' welfare. Oh no. Uncle Ted was a committee member of the Conservative and Constitutional Club, so we all decamped to the hushed restraints of a Friday night with Colin on the organ and his nephew Brian on the drums. Nan were barred until such time she had an oral refit, which she refused point blank and never set foot in the place. But my mum used to take her a bottle of stout every Friday and Saturday till she passed on. As it happens, none of us went down the pit. Freddie went to college, became an accountant, ended up moving into Labyrinth Grove in a smart des res. Our Rose went into teaching and Billy joined the army as a cook. Relocating when an oven inlet exploded because some bright squaddy confused the outlet valves of butane gas and aviation fuel. Fred succumbed last year. Heart attack. Stress. Too much fine food, fine wine and cigars. And I visit our Rose, who never married, every Tuesday and Thursday down the hospice. And Arthur moved to Brittany with his second wife. My mum's 87 now, confined to the house with crippling arthritis, but I visit every Sunday for me lunch, and thankfully she never took up my grand's offer to inherit the family dentures. Ted passed away in his sleep a couple of years ago. Funny that, isn't it? Me mum going through the same experience twice. And I never did ask her about me and Ted and the hazel eyes. Well, the moment never seemed to arise, and don't suppose it'll happen now. She's a determined soul though, still an avid knitter, but sadly these days just for the neighbours' children and grandchildren, not her own. Oh, and she's a walking authority on Coronation Street, 1962 to date. Bless her. What am I doing here, you're wondering? Well, I've just had the sign. I'm the turn. You know, Cobber, the comic. Day, mate. All right, Blue?
I'm an off. Yes, I'm an off. I like an ice cold beer, I'm a sort of pioneer. In the backwoods and the front was part of Oz. Silence, you silence.